Boys, he's finally here, and it's actually not a scam this time. Sunday's finally coming to the game, the character that I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for, but you probably already know that he's releasing. This got posted last night out of nowhere, kind of. I don't feel like drip marketing's ever come on like a Monday night for Honkai Star Rail. Normally it's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then live stream on Friday. Or maybe I'm just getting my dates mixed up, or maybe this has other implications for what might happen for this patch right here. But I will talk about all that in a second here, and I'll talk about why I think that Rappa's probably a skip now that he's coming out, because I want to go into detail on kind of what he might do, right? I want to theory craft a little bit, talk about what he might do and what scenarios he could fit into, or what teams he could fit into with said things, right? Because I feel like the Harmony class, even though we've gotten a lot of it already, because he is a Harmony imaginary type character, I feel like there's still stuff that they have not done with featured 5-star characters yet for this class. So I feel like we're gonna see something special with him. Yeah, as you can see here, he's arrived, he's real, right on time. Sunday is back, it's real, yes, just like Donald Trump, right guys? Anyways guys, the GOAT's playable. Honestly, I can't wait to play for him either, but what is kind of suspect to me, right, is I already knew he's probably gonna be Harmony, right? I don't think really anyone doubted that he was gonna be Harmony, because he did follow the path of Harmony, the Charmony, everything like that. Like the whole lore around him is kind of Harmony based. So I don't think Harmony was anything out of the, I don't think it was out of the question, right? I think we all knew Harmony, but imaginary is something that I did not think that he was going to be. I thought maybe he'd be something like a wind or something like a physical, but we got Robin that was a physical, but he kind of matched like that aesthetic. But kind of looking at his design now, his like color scheme is very similar to Dr. Ratio. This might be a Coke take, but his color design's all like Dr. Ratio, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about what he looks like. We're here to talk about what he might be able to do. And I have two trains of thoughts on this, right? And I want you guys to first subscribe to the channel, and secondly, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below which one of these two theories maybe he lands in, or maybe he doesn't land in any of these theories at all, and then you think he does something completely different. So let me know what you think he does in the comment section down below. But first, let's go ahead and talk about my first theory, right? So the first point I want to bring up here is actually by taking a look at the tier list first, because my first point here is I think he could potentially be a power creep to this right here. And the reason I think that is for a couple of reasons, but let me explain why I think this kind of holds some weight to it. Now, obviously, they could have some other character that comes in place of this. First of all, the reason I think this is because we got Gallagher added to the game, right? 4-star character, right? But then after that, we got Ling Shaw added to the game, which is a 5-star character, the same type and same class as he was, which is a little bit better than what he does, right? She's just a little bit better than Gallagher, right? Now, same thing I think could be applied here, right? We have a completely free-to-play Harmony Trailblazer right here that helps with Break S team. So why isn't there a replacement for someone like a Ruan Mei, or a slight power creep to someone like a Ruan Mei? As I've said in my previous videos, I don't think Ruan Mei is like the de facto breaker, right? Because she does a lot of things to help support break, but that's not the only thing she does. Sure, she does weakness break efficiency, but she also gives damage bonus as well, which doesn't really help out break all too much. You really want attack percentage and break efficiency, break effect, which she gives those things, but she is also giving that extra damage buff as well, which I feel like some other characters might be able to take use of. Like, you're basically just throwing that damage bonus out of the window when you're using her on a break-esque team. So maybe he'll be structured some way more around the break team, and the only reason I say that is because we have the addition of Ling Shaw added to the game, which was kind of like a power creep to this, same type, same everything like that. So maybe it's the same here to give a direct power creep to someone like Trailblazer, right? Because we have Trailblazer that gives super break damage, so maybe he somehow helps with super break damage. And something else that's feeding my theory here is also Rappa, guys. We know that she's a Galaxy Ranger, right? I assumed from before that she was going to be a super break-S character, or a break-S character, because Boot Hill also is a Galaxy Ranger. He does a lot of for break, super break damage, so why won't she do the same, right? An AoE breaker, if you will, right? And she is the path of Harmony here, right? I mean, she's the path of Imaginary here, right? So it would kind of make sense if him being Harmony, him being Imaginary, also means that he is going to help break enemy shields, because whenever you break enemy shields, they kind of, like, Imaginary characters kind of work like sustain characters in a way, right? Because after you break them, they have the imaginary weakness on them, they get pushed back in the action order, and they get slowed as well. So they work kind of like a pseudo sustain. So if you were to have him on the team helping with that imaginary break on the enemy, that would then mean that he's also able to assist in the sustainability of the team as well. So you can maybe run a team like Sunday, Ruan Mei, Harmony, MC for the extra super break, and then your DPS, or maybe run dual DPS, because realistically that's what Ruan Mei is made for, right? And then have him on the team. Now this is also something that comes into debate. Is he going to be a single target oriented buffer or an AoE oriented buffer? I think we already have someone like Ruan Mei in the game that kind of does AoE type things, right? If we even take a look at someone like Robin, right? His sister, she does very AoE oriented buffs. So for that fact alone, this might be cope, but I think he'll be very single target oriented because of that. Because while she sings for the field and brings everyone up, he's kind of really only doing things for like one person or himself, like lore wise, right? Like I guess he's doing things for like the whole of Pinaconi, right? But ultimately, he's kind of, it seems like he's doing everything for himself or his sister, or just for Pinaconi, a singular being, versus her, she's trying to do it for everyone. That's a very cope take, probably, I know, but that's how I see it as, and that's why I think that he'll be quite the opposite, because him and her are quite opposite. So maybe he'll actually just be very single target focused in terms of like the buff he's able to provide. Maybe it's something like how Sparkle works, right, but enhanced upon that, because he can't work like Sparkle and then do that. But that's leading us into our second theory now. What else do you think he can do? Guys, if we take a look here at all the other characters in Honkai Star Rail, there is one character in the game, one Harmony character that I can think of that does something that literally no other Harmony character does, and that is Tingyun. Now, what are you talking about, you two? She's going to be giving an attack buff with her skill, right? Whoop-de-doo. The big thing here is her ultimate move that gives energy to a single target and then increases that target's damage. That's the really big one I want to talk about here, because I think that there could be a power creep to Tingyun here. We have not really seen anyone in terms of like giving energy out step on Tingyun's toes. There's been no one really other than Hua Hua that has given energy. So let's say he's single target oriented, right? Let's say he targets one ally and gives them energy back, right? I think that would be good. But would it be with a skill or an ultimate? I think it would have to be with a skill to really power creep on what Tingyun's able to do, so it would have to be skill based. What else does this have to do? Because I don't think just giving energy back from a skill is going to be the only thing that this can do, right? Maybe he is going to be giving them buffs as well, like a damage bonus maybe. Maybe he gives them a break effect bonus if he goes down that break path. Maybe he gives them an attack based bonus, right? I think he has to do multiple things to make him better than Tingyun if he were to go down this path, right? Maybe give action advance forward as well, because we know at Tingyun at E6, right? If we look at her at E6, right? How do I even get there? Where is she at? Yeah, E2. After using ultimate, you give the ally with benediction a 20% speed buff, which is kind of like, and it's not necessarily an action advance forward, but it gives them a speed buff which makes their action order be increased, right? So maybe he does something like action advance forward as well, like a pseudo version of that. Maybe he's just very small, like a lot of buffs, and kind of culminates that into the energy region, because I don't think you can really give too much energy region to a character like with a skill and not have it like be super OP. So I think either you dumb that to skill down and then give like higher damaging bonus and stuff like that, or you raise that and then kind of dumb the other stats down that you're able to provide. Because if you're able to give like a massive like damage bonus per se, right, with massive energy, and then with like an action advance, that is huge, and that's going to make him the best like Harmony character in the game bar none, right? Or one of the best Harmony characters in the game bar none. But what if we take this one step further, right? Now, this could be cope, right? This could be absolutely copium. This could be the most copium thing I've talked about all day. But what if he is able to take one singular character, right? And with that character, he is able to give them these buffs, right? But in this theory, let's say that he is, you know, single target oriented, right? You probably wouldn't run him on a dual DPS team. So what if, right, now, big stretch here, what if you were to target that one character, right, your one character in your team, and then give everyone else on the team a stat bonus, depending on the stats that that character has, right? So let's say like it takes a portion of their attack and gives it to the rest of the team. It gives a portion of their crit damage, gives it to the rest of the team, right? A portion of this turns it into this stat and then gives it to the rest of the team, right? I think that could be something really interesting that plays off of the build of your other characters, not necessarily just his build though. That could counteract how good his skill and or ult could be, right? So if you're giving energy, if you're giving like a bunch of the other stats, right? How do you counteract that? By making the rest of the team get buffed depending on your person's skill, your person's stats, right? So I think that could be a really interesting route that they could take with him. And I don't know which one they would rather go down, right? Like, to me, it seems more reasonable they go down the break path just because they have Rappa, she's imaginary, and we really do need more break supports in the game because you can't really run more than one break team right now. So if you get Rappa and you have Firefly, you kind of have to make a choice. Do I want to run Rappa? Do I want to run Boot Hill? Or do I want to run Firefly on this team, right? We need more break supports in the game, so I would really like it if he was a break support, because I think we really need another break support added to the game. But if he's another type of support, I mean, I'm sure he'll be good enough to stand on his own 2 feet there. But one thing I wanted to bring up here, I think Rappa's a skip because of this. And the reason I think Rappa's a skip is because with them posting the drip marketing on Monday, I could be coping out here. Does this mean we're getting 3 characters? So 1 new 4-star and then an extra 5-star? If so, I think Rappa could be a skip for a lot of people. Me personally, I like Rappa's design. I think she looks really cool. I think she looks hot. She has big boobo. What can I say? I'm a man of culture. But if they were to add a banger-ass Harmony character in the game, right, which could be like a staple in a lot of people's teams, add a new 4-star on top of that, and then on top of that, add another signature 5-star, maybe probably not a sustained character, right? Probably, what would it be? Maybe an Hildy type character? We haven't really got an Hildy type support. I guess we had Big J, right? I don't know who else would they add, right? What else would they add, right? What other class do you think they would add into the game? That's what I want to know in the comment section down below, guys. So let me know what you think the next character beside him is going to be. If there is another character beside him, obviously we're getting drip marketing tonight. Probably, if we do, then I'll make a video on that then in a couple hours from the post of this video. Anyways, gamers, hopefully you enjoyed today's little video of my little theory crafting session here. But let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think he's going to do? Who do you think the next 4-star is going to be before, or the next 5-star is going to be? Do you think we're getting a 4-star? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Later. Bye.